Okay, Troy Ruhanen.
Hello,
Aussie
Rod.
from Brisbane.
Yes, I am. Yeah, Brisbane boy.
Went all the way from Clemenger,
Right,
Brisbane,
yeah.
through to Leo Burnett, Sydney. There was
Yeah.
something. There was a Leo Burnett Chicago in there.
Yeah,
of
there
course.
was that period too.
first taste
Couple
of
of chapters
America.
of Sydney with Leo's, yeah.
Leo Burnett Sydney was your agency of the year type.
Yeah,
when
that's
I
good.
was
You gave it to
sick,
me,
of
actually,
course,
I remember that.
actually.
You're a good man.
You're one of the creative suits as well.
Yeah,
And then you went off to New York
yeah.
with BBDO.
Yeah, 10 years there.
Yeah. Heading up the AT&T account as well.
Did
well
that
as
to
being-
start, yeah.
And then you became head of Americas within that group.
Yeah, down to Argentina.
Then
It was
kicked
good.
upstairs to Omnicom, and then now got the global chief creative officer, not creative officer.
I wish I
chief,
was, I could tell you. I'd love to get the crayons
the
out.
boss role
Yeah.
of TBWA.
Yeah.
One of the great networks. Oh, probably the
Yeah.
greatest network of them all.
It's a good one.
So this time last year you got the gig.
Yeah,
So, and you inherited a little bit of, it wasn't the best of times you came
Right.
in. So what's happened since?
well, I mean, I think it's been, I was very lucky to get the job. I feel very fortunate to land that because it is one of the great creative networks. And I think there are creative agencies, but networks as a whole, I think it's probably ourselves and BBDO, the true,
Great
consistent
creative, yeah.
creative networks. So we were very fortunate about that because I inherited a bunch of great offices. I think the struggle at the time was in America and in London. I think London had been very, very high and then had a bit of a fall, and thankfully, they started to rebound. And LA was had been very, very good, had some amazing moments, but had a few blips, as you said. Yeah. And so we put some new management in place. And it's been good. I mean, I think the interesting thing was they had an asset in disruption, but they, when you live with something for 25 years or whatever else, maybe you think, I should be thinking about other things. But it was really about modernising disruption. So that was the brief when I came in to really look at the agency, see what it had to work with, and I felt like that was the great handle to have. We just had to bring it out of workshop land into every single minute of the day. And how do we act as a disruption company every day, not just 3 days a year when we're doing vision exercises, etc. So we did that, and that's gone incredibly well. And we've started to win a whole bunch of new business off the back of really acting in a more modern, collaborative way than what we previously had been doing. So as a network, it's gone well. The states have gone well. LA, new management in place there, and in New York as well. And we put more creative people, I think, at the helm. Rob Schwartz used to be our global creative president on global accounts. Yep. Took him out of that role and made him as the CEO of New York. Yep. We put Niels Anderson into China, which was really great. And we've got a few more hires coming in the next couple of weeks, which you'll read about, which is good.
Yep.
So we're putting the product very much at the front and centre. And I think that's reflected in the wins we've had. We've won 14 pitches in America in the last 11 months, which would probably make us close to the hottest agency in America in the momentum sense.
Yep.
But what's got to follow that is the work, and that's why we're all here. Ultimately, is to sort of see the reflection of our product. But my challenge is moving our culture to, as we talk about it, is moving from a relationship mindset to a product mindset. I think we've focused very much as a business and an industry, not this agency alone, very much about relationships, and I think we've got the relationships will be the outcome of doing a better product, and we've got to focus on the product as much as what we possibly can. Hence why disruption, modernising that, getting creative people into the system, getting a better product and getting better relationships is an outcome of that.
Because all the offices tend to be independent of each other. You don't have these global creative conferences that some of the networks do.
We do it more.
But no, hang on. So is that slightly changed? Because there used to be a little bit of a, John Hunt was doing his thing, but is it really? Is that?
It started again. Well, I don't know if it stopped. To be honest with you, I mean, all I can say is that we do it right now. John's been gathering our gangs together. So we had a gang originally of sort of 6 great creative leaders in our network. And I felt like we needed that group to be bigger because I want to create much of a creative community. So we have a roster of 15 in the end. There are 12 sort of permanents and 3 spots we rotate.
From all around.
So we do that, and it's going well. I mean, we definitely feel, I think, glued as a network in that sense and as a creative community. We did that as a management team as well. We're meeting fairly frequently because I want us to be a tight network. We're a young network. We're the youngest network out there. We're only 15 years, ultimately 16 years thereabouts. Yeah. So we've got a lot of entrepreneurs in the system. So a lot of the principals who started the agency are still in those places right now. And I love that because these are guys who know how to launch speedboats, developing products and new ways of working and new business units. And they're really, really good at it because they're entrepreneurs. They know how to make stuff happen. So it rubs off on the rest of the agency then. So you pick up something from Turkey or from Singapore or whatever else, and you start to globalize it. So I like the spirit of that. It's fun. You know, you got people who are in it for the business, for the love of it, you know, who know how to make money, but also creating a culture at the same time.
Yeah,
so
and
they're good.
Like an example is Scott in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, Scotty is.
He's got skin in the game as well as
he does, and I like that.
Focused on creative work.
Yeah, he's very driven about that, and you know the people we put in place there. We obviously had Matty and Dave for a while there, but I think Paul Reedon's doing a fantastic job out of Melbourne, and Gary and Wes have stepped in, and we've just done some nice work, I think, for David Jones. You're going to see, and obviously, you know, they've just got a nice new business win, which you may have read about in Presta down there. So they're doing pretty good. I feel like we're ready for that next chapter down there. So I feel very confident about the teams that we got there. Like Ross Tucker as well, he's doing a great job. So you know, overall, the product is important. Scott very much prioritises that. He's a businessman, but a creative businessman. He lets Bradders and the team sort of have their run, and he's fully supportive of that. So it's the right kind of culture.
So talking about culture, where am I? What is the difference between the culture of an American ad agency group,
right,
and what you learnt from Australia? Have you applied a lot of the Australian sort of way of doing things, or is it very strictly America when you say you go to meetings? It's a different way of doing things.
Yeah,
you can't be too casual.
Yeah, well,
or can you? I mean, have things changed since you've been there?
I think Silicon Valley in its second chapter is influencing American business again. You know, so we had that .com boom. Yeah, very much so. You know, a lot of our clients. Exactly. I mean, we've got Airbnb, Netflix, and Slack are sort of two clients. We've got another one that's three clients. Another one's coming on board right now, all out of Silicon Valley. And that's interesting how that affects our culture on the West Coast.
West Coast,
yeah, so you very much feel like a much more round table, very egalitarian, open space mentality. Ideas come from anywhere and they come fast. And so I think I would say to you that I think America's in for its most innovative decade of all time. Okay. I really do. I think it's on the cusp of something amazing. I really believe that. So I think that's going to be quite fascinating to watch and be a part of. So I think we're very closely connected. You know, obviously we've been at Apple for a long time, but all these new band of clients we've got. So I think that's changing the face of American agencies, or certainly creative ones, I believe. There are other agencies over there that are more conservative, more client-driven, more bureaucratic. That's just a fact of the system there, and some move slower than others. Yeah. But I think we're more of an international network, because we were born out of Paris. You've got Chai Day in LA. We're not your typical New York agency.
Does anyone know the name TBW?
We could do a test, I tell you. It's ridiculous. But I've got the... I've met Bill, and he's a bloody good fella.
Yeah.
But
he's a Greek guy.
Yeah. Yep. So they're really good. It's a good culture there, but it's a very international culture. And Jean-Marie Drew obviously has been influential, and he's come a long way back in. So has John Hunt. Tom's been fantastic in the handover. He's been really, really good. So as a whole, I don't really have anything to complain about. I mean, we may have had some bumps there, but quite frankly, when I was at BBO, we lost some stuff too. But people tend to forget that when you cover it with other wins. Yeah. And that's our job, which is to bounce back quicker, to get some bigger wins, and just to keep moving forward, because there's no point admiring the problem. You don't kind of get anywhere. So change it up, get the right people in place, stay focused on what you are, have an identity, and make sure it's focused on the work. Because if it doesn't come out at the end of it, you can have all the theories in the world. It's not going to pay the bills unless you've got something to show for it. So that's what it's about for us this week. It's a watermark for us right now. We're certainly looking at this as this is more of a launch pad to go next year. Yeah. It'll be a quiet year for us. It won't be a big year. And quite frankly, I'm not really interested in... my goal isn't to finish first at Cannes. Like, that's not what my goal is. My goal is more like Wyden in some ways, which is to be envied. You know what I mean? To sort of be a network where people look at the work and say, you don't have to be first, you just have to be doing a body of work there and says, holy crap, look at what they do. And I think we're capable of that. I really do. So that's our goal next year, start moving that way, and the year after, and then and just get work that's talked about, mate.
You're still connected with Apple. I mean,
very much.
I mean, but obviously a lot of things Apple do themselves within their land.
Yeah.
Is it a sort of comfortable relationship in that situation?
Extremely. Look, and there were bumps there.
You always try and get some more.
No, I'll be honest with you. There was stuff that was written in the press, a couple of years back. There was that, but it's all, it's sort of shooting behind the rabbit there. I mean, it's old news, right? Yeah. So the relationship's good, really good, and we're very happy, and they're a great client. I mean, really, we're very, very fortunate. So The teams that are working on it are doing some really good stuff. We've got some, obviously, bunch of work coming through, so pretty optimistic. It's a great product to work with, clearly. I mean, you get a lot of chances there.
Yeah.
So no, for me, Apple is always a good barometer on how we're going as an agency. It just is, just in terms of the temperature of that work.
Flagship client.
And there were some beautiful ones. Yeah.
Yep. Well, good luck, and
Yeah, thanks, mate.
and give my regards to Scott.
I will.
Before
Yeah.
you see him?
Yeah, I will see
I'll
him
see
this
him later
week.
on
I'll
today.
see him all. See
Maybe
Bradders
tonight
and the
even.
boys. Yeah, I hope so.
All right.
No,
Cheers.
thanks, mate. All the best, everyone.